What's up, everybody? Silver Dorks fan here for Mustang Weekly Update number 6 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mustang? Well, it's pretty cold today, and the cold kind of brings out a few little creaks and rattles in the Mustang. And before everyone goes and says, it's American build quality, yada, 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 my BRZ had rattles in the wintertime as well. And then once I had the exhaust on it, it had rattles all the time. That's just because of the exhaust. But anyway, so as far as creaks and rattles, the rear window likes to rattle every once in a while, especially if it's like really cold, and it'll rattle. And you know, I've also noticed, you know, this rattle around the trim of the gauge cluster here. That I told you about that a couple weeks ago. That has kind of gone away. That comes and goes. That's really strange. Also, the sound in the glove box that was you know, coming and going, that has gone away for a while now. So that one is taken care of. The other new creak that developed over the past couple week or two here is that the seat, whenever I first like sit down in the seat, I can't get it to do it now, but it like creaks a little bit whenever you're sitting in the seat. It kind of sounds like it's like 10 years old or something when it's not. But it's now it's not doing it. So like I said, it's very iffy as well. And I think once the car warms up, then it goes away. I think these are all typical things of just, you know, the plastics in the car as they, you know, expand and contrast and things like that. Things are going to creak, and I think that's natural. I don't think that's a fault of the cars. I mean, there have been cars that I've driven in that never rattled or creaked, but I think that a lot of cars normally do. So, I mean, I'm not the type of person where that kind of stuff bothers me, so I could really care less, but I'm just like documenting all of my experience with the Mustang for you guys so that you'll know what to expect if you plan to buy one as well. So, yeah, the other thing that's not so spectacular, though, is the gas mileage. The fuel economy has kind of dipped, and I don't know. I know that, you know, they always switch over to a winter blend for gas here, especially in the Northeast around this time of year. I don't know if that's why my fuel economy is suffering, because it is known that you generally get worse fuel economy in the wintertime. That's one of the reasons why. But it seems like it's dropped by more than what I would expect for a winter blend of gas. So, you know, I was getting on average about 26 miles to the gallon, and then I've been averaged about 30 on the highway whenever I did my trip to Maryland to, you know, go see my buddy's brand new Mustang GT. And so it was doing really well, but just the past couple of weeks, like I'm averaging 23.4 miles per gallon. My last tank of fuel, my average was right around 24 miles to the gallon, and that's a mix of city and highway, but the combined average, according to the EPA, is 26, and I was averaging about 27 when I first got this car. So I'm not sure why the gas mileage isn't quite as good. I mean, I don't think I've really been driving it any differently, so I don't think you can really blame it on that. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I'm just gonna, you know, obviously it's no big deal. It's 2 or 3 miles per gallon, but yeah, I'm gonna be really interested to see in the spring, once you get back to the normal gas, if that you know, improves. So definitely stay tuned for that. And a few other little updates. First is the car has 3,400 miles on it right now, so, you know, racking up the miles pretty well here. And like I said, otherwise, I mean, it's still running really great. I love it. Still, just the more I drive, the more I love it. And it's like I'm in this place of perfect contentment where, like, I don't even like feel like doing any mods to it at the current moment. I don't need anything. It's just like perfect the way it is. And yeah, it's such a good car. The other update, though, you know, now that, you know, I'm in winter mode here with my thick winter jacket on, and, you know, it's cold outside. A lot of you are probably wondering, you know, what about snow driving? What about snow tires in particular? There hasn't been any significant snowfall here. Pittsburgh has just missed all the mayhem that's been going on in the rest of the Northeast. So it's been basically dry here. There hasn't been any accumulations of snowfall that are significant. So pretty interesting that, you know, we've just missed that stuff. But so because of that, I haven't driven this thing in the snow yet. So some of you have been asking what it's like. I can't say just yet, but as far as snow tires, what I can say is I bought 2 snow tires used already off of someone that ran them on his Mustang last year, like very briefly, and they have like, you know, 95% tread left on them, and they're Goodyears. I don't remember their specific brand. I'll talk more about the tires once I get them installed. I'm going to buy 2 more brand new ones off of Tire Rack. He just ran 2 in the back. because that's what he felt he needed to do. I know a lot of people with rear-wheel drive cars only do the rear two tires. I personally don't think that's a good idea myself, just because, yeah, you'll have traction with your snow tires to get up to speed, but your front wheels are the ones that are doing all the turning and most of the stopping. And so I want to make sure that the front tires have just as much grip as the rear. So I'm going to be doing all 4 snow tires. I know Tire Rack recommends all 4 snow tires as well. So that would be my recommendation personally. But I know a lot of people do just the back too sometimes. So yeah, but that's about it as far as all the updates on the Mustang. So I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news, the first thing is that the CEO of Ford has officially confirmed that the Ford Focus RS is coming to America. So, you know, we were all hoping it would be, but there was some doubt at first. But it's been officially confirmed we are getting the new Focus RS, which has everyone in the car world very excited, of course. And yeah, that's all we know about it. No further details. It's still the same rumors that it's probably going to be the motor out of the EcoBoost Mustang, the 2.3 liter turbo, somewhere between 325 to 350 horsepower in the tune for the RS. And they're still not sure if it's going to be front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Of course, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for all-wheel drive. And yeah, but it's awesome to see that, you know, it's going to be coming to the U.S. Very good news. In some other Ford news, some lucky person just happened to find the new Ford Mustang Shelby GT in Palm Springs, and it looks spectacular. Now, this isn't the GT350 or the GT500. This is just a standard Mustang GT with Shelby stuff on it, essentially. There's a supercharged version that'll be coming out later. This is just strictly an appearance and, you know, exhaust package, stuff like that. It's going to cost like 15 grand though, even just for this. Nothing is confirmed. This was just a car that was accidentally spied, and of course there's no camo or anything on it. It looks spectacular. You know, the grille is kind of cool, and it has a huge power dome hood. Just all kinds of awesome. So I just think that looks sweet. And another bit of Mustang news is that the 2015 Mustang convertibles have started to be shipped. So they're in production now, and so they were a little bit behind the coupes, but now they're going to be arriving in showrooms very soon. In some other convertible news, a new Porsche Boxster has been spied. Now, it has the same aggressive front fascia as the Cayman GT4 that's been spied running around. So chances are there's also going to be a Boxster GT4, a hardcore version of the Boxster. If the GTS wasn't hardcore enough for you, there's going to be obviously a GT4 version of the Boxster. I'm not sure what it's going to be called, but it looks mean from that front bumper. No other real changes, but you can see it's out testing in the snow, and that's awesome. The last convertible story for this week is that Lexus is still considering doing a convertible. You know, last week or the week before, I reported about how you know, they're planning on doing just an SUV and not a convertible because that's what all the dealers want as an SUV. But this story is saying that they're still considering convertibles and stuff like that, even though they might not be popular with the dealers. Not sure what they're going to end up doing. It's still in the cards. So for those of you that were hopeful for a Lexus convertible, there's hope for you. In some other awesome Lexus news, Lexus has officially filed a copyright for the LC500 nameplate, which people are thinking is going to be the nameplate they're going to put on the production version of the LF LC concept, and not sure what it's for, but the 500 suggests that it's going to be, whatever car it is, it would be running the same motor out of the Lexus RCF, which is a 5-liter V8, and that would be pretty awesome. So just excited to see production versions of whatever it is that Lexus is planning. And now for some official stuff that came out this week. First is that BMW released the new BMW 6 Series, and that includes the sedan and the coupe. And so, you know, it's slightly revised, just, you know, slightly tweaked grille and headlights and slightly tweaked interior. Very, very minor updates, but they've updated it nonetheless. Another car that was officially unveiled this week was Mini took the wraps off the John Cooper Works Edition version of the Cooper S, and it was officially leaked first, and then since it was leaked, Mini was just like, all right, here's all the official pictures. So we have all of them. I mean, it looks good. They even released the specs: 228 horsepower and 236 pounds-feet of torque, which is, you know, a good 15 to 20 more than the previous generation John Cooper Works version had, and it looks cool too. You can see the slight body tweaks and things like that. And yeah, pretty cool little Mini. Mercedes officially unveiled the GLE Coupe this week as well, which is their BMW X6 fighter. It's this SUV that just had the usable part of the hatch hacked off, and so instead it's just this sloping roofline that everyone seems crazy about these days for whatever reason, and so that is what they made. I personally think it looks a little odd, but the sloping roofline is all the rage these days, so cool to see that. I'd much rather have the CLA wagon myself. While we're talking about C-Class stuff, a proper coupe, the Mercedes C-Class coupe, the actual two-door coupe, Mercedes is expected to go on sale next December. So for those of you that were wondering, we have the sedan now, but where's the coupe? The coupe will be coming, so next year at this time you'll be able to go out and buy one. So interesting to see that, of course. Can't wait for the AMG versions too. Last bit of Mercedes news is that there was a spy shot here of the new Mercedes SL, which is going to be coming out in a year or two, and as you can see, it's minor tweaks, again, to be like a facelift, like the other stuff that Mercedes is known to do. It looks like this one's going to have very, very similar headlights to the Mercedes S-Class that, are very popular, and that's kind of the new styling direction for Mercedes. So I think those are going to be incorporated into the SL, which I think is an improvement over the current SL's headlights. But obviously there'll be some other improvements and things like that, but that's really all we can see for now. But cool to see that Mercedes is working on an update. Next is a report this week saying the Jaguar is still open to a new version of the XK. So, the XK was kind of the sporty Jag before the F-Type came around, and in this report, Jaguar has also said that they're still planning to do lots of different things with the F-Type, which makes me excited because I don't know what more they could possibly do with the F-Type. They've already given us everything we wanted. There's the V6s, there's the V8s, and then we said we wanted a manual, and they gave us a manual, and, people wanted all-wheel drive. Now there's an all-wheel drive version. We have the beautiful coupe along with the convertible. There's the Project 7, which makes it even more insane. I don't know how Jag could blow our minds with other F-Type variants, but apparently they're planning on it, which I wouldn't be surprised one bit because Jag's just awesome like that. But getting back to the XK, you can see I still have a strong obsession with the F-Type. Anyway, the XK, they're saying that, they still need a luxury Grand Tour because, the F-Type doesn't have back seats, and it's more of a sports car than a Grand Tour. So they're thinking about focusing on a coupe that's more comfortable and luxurious, and so that could be the new XK. There's nothing confirmed yet. It's just up in the air. They're considering it, but they're open to doing a new XK for those of you that love the XK. And for the most perplexing story of the week, there were some spy shots taken of a Maserati test mule that people aren't sure what it is. So, it's a Ghibli that's modified and has all kinds of stuff hooked up to it and things like that. People aren't sure what this is. It could be the Maserati Alfieri, which is the new coupe that they're planning, and this could just be like a test chassis for that. Or people are thinking it could be the Alfa Romeo Giulia, which is going to be the mid-size Alfa that will be coming to the States next year, and that this could be that. I think that it's probably the Alfieri, just because I know Alfa is, partners with Maserati. They're all owned by the same Fiat group. But I think it'd be kind of strange to have an Alfa Romeo test mule that's a Maserati. In addition, they said this is a performance-oriented car, so it's either the aggressive performance version of the new Alfa, or it's the Alfieri. I think it's the Alfieri. That's my bet. Because I think the Giulia, if it's coming out next year, it needs to be much farther along than just a test chassis on an existing Maserati. I think they probably are pretty close to a production version of the Giulietta that they could be testing. So I personally think that this is the Alfieri, but a lot of people are perplexed by that, and it'll be interesting to see what new Maserati or Alfa Romeo products come out here in the next year or so. And the awesome Aston Martin DB10 that was released along with the Spectre reveal of, the new James Bond movie. This will be James Bond's new car. And, they're making 10 of them for production, for people to buy. And they revealed more specifications about what this car actually is. And the sad thing is it's actually just basically a reskinned V8 Vantage. So it's based on an old car. There is no Mercedes AMG V8 under the hood like people were thinking it might have. But this does preview the new styling that we will see in what will most likely be called the DB11, which will be the replacement for the DB9 most likely. And that one will obviously have all the new tech and all that kind of stuff. This will still be riding on the same outdated chassis and the same other dated bits of Aston Martin tech and things like that, but it looks gorgeous, and it's James Bond's car, so who cares what's powering it? It's just, you're gonna look awesome in it. And while we're talking about high dollar rare cars, you know the Ferrari FXXK that just was revealed last week? Well, they're $3 million each, and they're already totally sold out. So if you wanted one, too late. And yeah, so it's pretty amazing how Ferrari can sell high-end cars, and this is no exception. $3 million and they're all sold out. So that's that. Ferrari is definitely doing something right. In some other Ferrari news, the Ferrari Sergio, which was this you know, prototype that they said they'd be building for customers, is very expensive one-off cars. The first one's already been delivered to the Middle East. Some people are disappointed with the looks because it's clearly just a reskin version of a Ferrari 458 Italia, which is what it always was. But this looks a little more tame than the concept car looked, and I think that's, you know, people have said because obviously it needs to have a regular windshield and all that kind of stuff. I think it still looks pretty cool, you know, and it's definitely different. For those that don't want a standard Ferrari 458 Italia, but, you know, want to have the same great mechanicals of that car, here you go. So obviously they're very rare. I think they're already sold out anyway. Yeah, they're only making 6 of them. But if you want to go check it out, it's currently in Dubai, I think, or Abu Dhabi. So yeah, pretty awesome to see that those are making their way to customers, though. And the last thing is a car that won't be making its way to customers anytime soon. And that is, there's news that Volvo has put their awesome coupe project on hold. They're focusing on their SUVs and their wagons, and that's all fine and dandy, but it would have been so awesome. You know, that gorgeous concept car that they revealed last year. Unfortunately, they're not building it, at least not for now. It was clearly just a way to showcase the new styling that was then transplanted onto the new Volvo SUVs. So that's kind of disappointing, but hopefully maybe in the future they'll reconsider. So yeah, that's it for all the news this week, guys. So I'll send it back to me in the car. Alright, so he has the nice little acceleration here. I always do. That's so much fun. I still love the way it sounds too. It's just So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Take care.